My favourite thing about Kathleen is she radiates spirit always.
She lives from her inside out, her divine self. She just loves to radiate who she truly is by living her authentic divine self.
Her energy is, you can see that she is electric.
She is empowering, she's genuine, and she's intuitive.
What sets Kathleen apart is that she's living the life she's teaching. Kathleen has helped me change my life by truly demonstrating that we all have the same spirit within us and we are no different from anybody else.
Most of all, what I love is that she makes it fun. That's the way it should be.
Kathleen sees clearly, she loves fiercely, and she empowers people in such a powerful way. And I'm grateful for the day I met her.
Where is the money coming from? How am I going to pay for that new home? How am I going to get that new car? Why don't I get a better job or start a business? Why don't I get on faster? Why don't I have the income that I want? Why can't I be as successful as those people over there? Why don't I get ahead? Why do I struggle to make my dream life happen? Do you really want to know? Do you really want to do something about it? Do you really want to throw off the shackles of lack and limitation? If so, then prepare yourself for one of the most thrilling and interesting experiments you have ever made. When you registered for this event, you signed up for one of the most important and valuable trainings you have ever attended. You opted in to receive a practical and usable technique that has enriched and revitalized the lives of millions. You're about to learn a formula that has abundantly demonstrated itself. You picked up a method of demonstration that will work for anyone who will put it into practice. We're going to share ideas that can transform, change, and improve everything in your world. Hello, everyone. My name is Tommy Collier. I am the Chief Creative Officer here at Diamond Academy, and I want to congratulate you for showing up today and welcome you to our biggest, most anticipated event ever. Welcome to Manifest with Kathleen Cameron. I'll be your host over these next 3 days. And now before we get Kathleen up on the stage, I want to go over a few things to get us rolling. So first of all, I want to encourage all of you who are here on Zoom with us to treat this just like if we were together in person. Put your full focus and attention into our session today. Turn your camera on if you can, so that we can see all of your beautiful faces and feel your energy. A few hours of focused attention with us can impact your life in a profound way. So if you can turn off distractions around you, put your phone on silent, close your email, and give yourself the gift of really sitting down and really engaging with us here today and over the next couple of days. I can promise you it will be time well invested. So the choice is yours. Are you here to be entertained, or are you showing up to be transformed? Now, today, I really want to encourage you to stay with us till the very end, because we have a super cool and inspiring homework assignment for you to work on later today that you're definitely going to want to take part in. And now regarding replays, we will provide you with a fuller replay that you can study and rewatch for about a week after this event ends. So after today's session, we will email you a replay link to the email that you registered with. If you haven't already, we want to invite you to join our Facebook group for this event. It's called Manifest with Kathleen Cameron. It's a super supportive and high vibe community, and you can take full advantage of this training by participating in the energy and sharing that happens in that group. And we have even more support available to you during this event. In case you are unaware, each of you have been assigned a success advisor from our Diamond Academy team. They are your personal point of contact and support during this event. So if you have any questions or need any help at anything at all, you can reach out to them for whatever you might need. If you haven't connected with your advisor yet, just let us know in the chat and we'll get you connected ASAP. Okay, now we have so many new faces joining us for this event, and we are so happy you are here. For those of you who haven't met Kathleen yet, who are new, you are in for a truly eye-opening experience learning from her this week. Kathleen has a unique talent for communicating complex ideas in a simple way that anybody can understand. And she is absolutely fearless in the pursuit of her own growth, which makes her the perfect guide to lead you down the path to your own transformation. She is a rock star mom, an international best-selling author, an 8-figure coach, a highly sought-after speaker, teacher, trainer, and television star. She is CEO and founder of Diamond Academy, which she started just over 2 years ago, all during that damn pandemic, where she earned her first million within 7 months of starting her business. She has reached over 100,000 people with her inspiring message of self-empowerment, and she's here with us this week to help you start or continue down your path of manifesting your dream life. It's my honor and privilege to introduce to you the one and only Kathleen Cameron. Kathleen, it is all yours, my friend.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. We haven't been here in like 2 months. Tommy and I were just talking about that yesterday, how we can't believe it's been like 2 months since we've done one of these. We got into such a beautiful habit. Every single month we show up and do these 2 to 3 day live events. And it really feels it fills our own souls and our own spirits. Yes, you already noticed the butterfly. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just love this. So little backstory, this beautiful brooch, this is a vintage. It is almost 100 years old. And I found this at a fall fair with my daughter, Reagan. There was a lady who had an antique little setup, and it was hidden away in behind something. And I peeked at it. I saw it. When you see it up close, you can see how old it is, but it has little gems all through it. And every single one of the gems is still there. And it's just in beautiful, perfect condition. So I had to grab it. And then this morning I was like, I have to wear this. For those that don't know me, the butterfly is my spirit sign. So the beginning of my journey, before I was living in this house, we were living in the last house that we were in, the one that we downsized into. I was reading Gabrielle Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back, and she was talking about this having a spirit sign. I never heard about this before. And she hers was the owl, and it was the middle of winter. And I said, well, mine's going to be the butterfly. And I went, the universe will really has its work cut out for it if we're going to see a butterfly amidst all this snow, right? So I'm like, okay, prove it. And it was like the next day, I got a thank you card from somebody, in the front was a butterfly. And then I went for dinner at a restaurant, and I go to the bathroom, and there's a painting on the wall, and it's a butterfly. It just kept coming and coming and coming. And one of my favorite memories and my favorite moments was the day that I met Bob Proctor in his studio. I went to his house here in Thornhill, Ontario, and I was leaving his studio after receiving some pins for recognition. And as I was leaving his studio, there was these butterfly stickers all on his patio door of his studio. And I just looked at him and went, Bob, it's butterflies. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, it's my spirit sign. He's like, okay. I'm like, it means I'm on the right path. And I remember he went, like, we don't know that already. Like, you need the universe to tell you. But anyway, so this is the butterfly. I have them all over my office, actually. I have gifts that people have given me, paintings, art. I have Jade's beautiful artwork here that she painted for me that I am just figuring out the perfect place to put it. I just need to feel where it needs to go, So the butterflies become part of Kathleen Cameron and everything that's happened in my life, and continues to just be this thing that just reminds me of what I am here for and what my purpose is. And I truly do believe that this is a calling, that I've been called to do this. It happened in a pivotal moment in my life, a pivotal moment in this world. And the butterfly just reminds me to stay on track. Allow spirit to continue to work through you. Kathleen, don't let your human get too caught up. Sometimes my human comes back out. And it's just about the reminder that what we're doing here is God's work. And I'm so blessed to be able to do this. So these next 2 days are going to be beautiful and powerful. We have some interviews. We have some people that are going to come on that we're going to talk to about life, about their transformation. Tommy said, are you here to be entertained, or are you here to be transformed? And the difference is if you're here to be entertained, you are someone who's interested. You're interested in what we have to say. You're intrigued. You want to learn a little bit. But if you're here for a transformation, then you're committed. And people who are committed, they don't just do what's convenient. They do what is required. They will do whatever it takes. And so for me, I went into my journey in September of 2019 wanting a transformation, and I got far more than that. I don't even know how to describe it. And just when you think, one transformation happens and then a quantum leap happens in your life, you think that that's good, but then more and more keeps happening. And I think, people always say to me, I love watching your journey, Kathleen. I love to see the unfolding, the transformation, the growth. And it's really, really interesting for me because I'm living it, so I don't necessarily notice it as much. But what's really happening now is that I am seeing it in me. I'm seeing it in my physical body now. Even how my hair is, how I'm doing my makeup, how I'm holding myself, the fashion that I'm choosing to now become a part of and fall in love with. Like my hobbies are changing, like just everything. The things that bring me joy are different. There's things that I no longer have an interest in at all whatsoever. And I don't even want to be a part of it. Some of those things are like gossiping. I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be putting other people down anymore. I want to talk about how we can rise up and how we can elevate. I don't want to have the discussions about tearing people down. No, thank you. I don't want to be involved in venting. You want to call in, you want to vent to me? No way, Jose. I'm going to coach you. So not a lot of people vent to me anymore because they know that I'm going to tell them how it really is. I'm going to tell you what I see in you. It's good to allow your emotions to come up, but I don't want to be a part of the venting. And sometimes if I get back into the vent habit, I've got people around me now that are like, what are you doing there? Like, what's going on there? What's happening? And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay. Just needed that little fix, so, I joke around with language, and you'll hear this a lot when I say that my human is out, and when I say that like spirit's working through me, what I'm actually saying is like my awareness. I'm a spiritual being in a physical body with an intellectual mind. So when I say that my human is out, it's my personal mind, it's my intellectual mind. Okay. And when I say that spirit's working through me, this is when I am in flow. I am absolutely in flow. I feel amazing. I feel wonderful. And everything is just coming through me in that state of flow. So this is just some language that I use. So you can certainly use that language if you want. But last time we did manifest, this was November of last year. And I was in Miami, Florida. I was at the Four Seasons Hotel Surfside, and I was overlooking this beautiful ocean. And it is the most stunning view from that hotel. It's just next level. And I was in this energy, this vibration. It was so lovely. And it was my first time teaching my 4-step manifestation process that I keep seeing these different manifestation processes, like these how-tos. And what they're actually teaching you is an intellectual process to maybe auto-suggest or affirm something. You want to manifest one thing, so we're going to write it out a bunch of times. What is the thing that you want? Visualize it, write it out, be it, And I thought, this is just nuts, because manifestation isn't about you being the same person that you've always been and then manifesting something new in your life. Manifestation is identifying what you want in your life and becoming the version of you that is required in order to achieve it. It is accomplishment. It is success. It is growth. It is changing who you are so that you can change your outside world. So if you want to manifest one small little thing, then I would suggest going along with other manifestation processes that are super simple and easy, that don't take a lot of time. Well, this is easy, but not as much of a transformation. Then go right ahead and you will get manifestations that are quick and easy, and that's it. But what I'm going to teach you today is what I really, really believe is modern manifestation. It's taking old information and modernizing it in today's world. We're taking masculine information and we're making it feminine. Okay, so if there's men on here, don't get discouraged. I'm not talking about making it girly. I'm talking about feminine energy. I'm talking about the ease and the flow. I'm talking about feeling your way into a manifestation instead of hustling your way into a manifestation. That's what I'm talking about. So we are going to feminize some of the information as well. We're going to modernize. We're going to feminize. We're going to drop some of this work hard culture, and we're really going to start to love life today in a place of gratitude so that we can manifest for tomorrow. So over these 2 days, I'm going to give you my 4-step manifestation process in the order in which I did it, the order in which I transformed. So it's a transformative process, okay? And it can be done with little things. It can be done with, and what I mean by little is like a simple thing, like if you want a certain amount of money, or you want a coffee, or you want a house or something like that. Or you can do it in broad senses of like a vision for your life. So a different type of life, a different experience of life. You can change your experience of life today, right now, in this moment, without changing a single thing around you. We change your perception of it, the way that you see it. And when you start to give a different meaning to your life, you start to experience a different life. Guess what? You attract a different life. It's so fun. So I'm going to take you through this 4-step manifestation process. So today we are going to talk about the first step. No, it's not to get clear on what you want. You might have heard this many, many times before. In order to manifest something, the first thing is have a clearly identified vision of what it is that you desire. We're not going to go there yet. You know why? Because you have not taken responsibility for what you have in your life right now in this moment. So step 1 in my manifestation process is self-awareness. Huge. This is self-responsibility. This is self-honesty. This is truly going within and asking the question, why do I have the life that I have right now? How did I create it? And why did I create it? So the first question you might want to ask yourself is, why am I here today? This is a beautiful self-awareness question. Why am I here today? There's an answer within that question. There is something that brought you here. So one of the funnest things about one of my favorite books, Happier Than God by Neil Donald Walsh, at the beginning of that book, he has you write the date in the first page of the book. The day you changed your life. The day you started reading this book. And I did it. The inside of my book says like November 17th, 2022 or 2021. And the reason that he does that is because he has a section in the front of that book that says, this book did not fall into your lap by accident. You asked for this book. You asked for this information. You are reading these pages on purpose because your consciousness has asked for it. You're listening to these messages because they're the messages that you have asked to hear. So what I say to people all the time is, I never come uninvited. So if I'm in your life, you've invited me in, you've asked for me. Yeah, intentional purpose, I love that. So you have attracted me. And I don't mean attraction like, some other kind of attraction. I mean literal attraction. Like, I want more for my life. So universe, please give me more. And then boom, Kathleen Cameron and Diamond Academy show up in your life. It's not by accident. So why are you here? Obviously, you're seeking to be transformed. You're seeking more. You're seeking understanding. You're seeking knowledge. But listen, I don't want to sit here and just give you knowledge. That's not my goal. I think when I first started my business, when I first became a coach, I wanted to be a teacher and I wanted to teach people things and I wanted to give you knowledge. But over the past 2.5 years, I have realized that the attainment of knowledge does not really accomplish much. It stays in your conscious mind. It stays in the intellectual mind. It stays with your human. And then your human might never use it. But when we can get you to fully embody this information, this is where you're going to be transformed. Kendra, I'm here to tap back into my magnetic force for even more. Oh, do you know how powerful that statement is? That is so good. Tap back into my magnetic force. What I love about that so much is that there is a magnetic force, right? And she's recognizing that for whatever reason, she just, tap back into implies that you can tap out of it. What if you didn't believe that? What if you're tapped in all the time? What if you're in flow all the time? What if you're in spirit all the time? What if you're manifesting all the time? Guess what? You are. So any books that I talk about today, okay, I am someone who has learned manifestation through study, through the art of study. And so any books that I talk to you about today, Tommy, what he will do is he will put a book list into the Facebook group for you all. Okay, so don't worry. And then you always ask about the music that he plays as well. He'll put a playlist in there, the Manifest playlist. He'll put it in the Facebook group. If you aren't on Facebook, I know there's some young people these days that don't have Facebook. I don't know. But if you aren't on Facebook, just reach out to somebody from my team, info@diamondacademy.ca. We can send that over. Or the team member that you've been chatting with, certainly reach out to them and we can help you. So self-awareness is the first thing. And what I love so much about self-awareness is understanding who you are, why you think the way you think, why you believe what it is that you believe. But the most beautiful part about self-awareness is the word responsibility. And what helped me so much with the word responsibility was when I learned about universal law. And when I learned about the law of cause and effect, it was like, oh, that's why. So the analogy that I often will use is the analogy of driving a car. So for much of my life, until September of 2019, until I was 37, I think I was 37 that year. I really believed that life was happening to me, that maybe there was a fate or a destiny or some, like, there was a path and I was on it, but I wasn't the driver. I really believed that I did not have control over things. I didn't have control over whether or not I was going to get that promotion. I didn't have control over whether or not I was going to get a new job, or whether my business, I started a side hustle in 2017. I didn't have control over whether or not that side hustle was going to be successful. It just, it depended on if people wanted to buy from me. It depended on, how good the products were, the price, all those things. So to me, life was happening. I was on the ride. I was in the car. I was maybe in the passenger seat or the back seat, but life was just happening. And I used to say things like, I wonder what the future holds. I wonder what's going to happen over the next few years. All these things. So that was my old belief system. Then I started studying universal law, and I heard about the law of cause and effect. And so universal law means that this is something that is true no matter where you are in the universe. So no matter where you live on this beautiful globe, tell me where you are in this globe. Tell me what country you're in. I would love to hear that. No matter where you are in this globe, this law is true. So what the law of cause and effect says, that there is always a cause to every single effect in your life. So effect is something that you observe, something that you see with your five senses is an effect. So the job that you have, the amount of money that you have, the relationships that you have, the children that you have, the house you live in, where in the country you live, all of those things are all effects. They're things you see. They're circumstances, they're results of your life, whatever. So every single thing then that you see has a cause. And that cause is you and your consciousness. Consciousness is everything that you consent to be true, all of your beliefs, everything. Your past influences your today, but your consciousness today influences your tomorrow. So this is really fun. So what I loved about this then, it was like, oh, well, what if I actually believed this law? Like, what if I thought this was true? Then that would mean that every single thing and every experience that's ever happened in my life is something I created. I caused it. Okay, I can get on board with this. Yeah, I decided to have kids. Yeah, I decided to go to school to become a nurse. Yeah, I decided to move into a house. Yeah, I decided to get married. Yeah, I decided to do this and this and this and this. So yeah, actually, this makes sense. The effects are a culmination of the decisions that I've made, which are based on the beliefs that I hold, the beliefs that I hold about myself, the beliefs that I hold about the world, etc., etc. So the more I started to take responsibility for my life, suddenly I felt more in control. So suddenly I moved from the passenger or the back seat into the driver's seat. So this is where I started to actually drive the car of my life and realize that all of this time I have been giving other people the ability to influence me. I've been allowing the outside world to be the reason why I have this, I don't have that, why this is working, this isn't working. So the law of cause and effect has been one of the most beautiful laws that has really, really helped me to step into and tap into this Kathleen who takes responsibility for her own life. It is a very powerful attitude to hold, that I control my life, I control my circumstances, I control my outcomes, I control my results. I am the one that controls it all. You're going to hear today, and I'm going to start talking about your life as a movie. Okay, so this is really fun. I want you to think about this. What kind of movie has your life been so far? Is the movie of your life something you would go see? Is it something you would recommend to others? Is it something that you feel proud of? Does it have a happy ending? All of these things. So now I want you to recognize now then in this situation is what I'm telling you today with the law of cause and effect, and what I'm telling you when it comes to self-awareness is that for you to become aware now that you are the one that holds the pen to write the rest of the movie. Okay, so I did this exercise in 2019. I wrote out a movie, and every single thing that I wrote happened. Every single thing. I literally, I remember writing out, this is a quantum leap story. This is a story of resilience. This is a movie about rising above. I literally decided that I was going to build out a movie of my life where an average or normal woman, okay, and I don't say that in any negative way or any negative judgment. I actually use that language in a very empowering way. An average or normal woman did something extraordinary, took her life and flipped it upside down. The reason why I say average or ordinary is because I want you to see, and the reason I say this is because there is nothing extraordinary about Kathleen Cameron. I don't have magic powers. You might believe that I do, but I don't. I don't have any magical powers that you don't have. I don't have any abilities that you don't have. There's nothing different about my software. There's nothing different about my body. There's nothing different about my mind. There's nothing that I have that you do not have. So if I can rewrite my movie and it be a bestseller or hit the box office, what is the language there? I don't know. Hit the box office, then sure, you can absolutely do that. Anything anybody else can do is evidence that you can do it. We have something very, very exciting that we're going to be sharing with you guys tomorrow at the end of the day. When we share that with you tomorrow, you'll be able to get a more in-depth idea of my story over the past 2.5 years. We don't really have the time to go too much in depth with it, but let me just say, I went from being a nurse who was not so confident, who didn't really enjoy herself that much, who didn't enjoy life all that much, to a multi-millionaire CEO, built this business, this mission, this vision, and I've manifested some pretty incredible things into my life. And it's all been through the process that we're going to take you through over these next 2 days. So it's been really beautiful and it's been really powerful. And the most important part of it all is that I have become a better version of myself through this process. So the attainment of success, the achievement, the growth, some of the physical things, this beautiful new home that I'm in, the beautiful G-Wagon that I drive, some of the luxury items, the trips, the vacations, those things have all happened because I have stepped into a version of me who is authentic, who has integrity, who remains humble, and who is driven by the desire to help others so much that I don't need any of that anymore. It was never anything that was needed. It was all things that have been given for the value that I give. And so the law of compensation has been very much at work here. So how can you serve more? How can you give more? How can you be more tied and connected to what you are called here to do? Because on those days where they don't feel so good, there's something going on. Your energy is a little bit lower. You're maybe not feeling as inspired as you once were. Those are the times where you're going to need to go to why you're here. You're going to need to go to that purpose. You're going to need to go to that calling and say, no, I am meant to be here to do this. I'm going to be really honest about something that happened the other day that shook me up. And the way I've chose to see it has fired me up, because I took something that shook me up and I allowed it to fire me up. So sometimes when I get angry or I get upset or whatever else, I can turn it around and go to the negative side where, old Kathleen would have wanted to go into her room, wanted to cry, vent, maybe eat some junk food. But this new version of me, this new powerful, we call her 100 million Kathleen, she doesn't do that. She gets fired up. And so I posted a beautiful photograph of my daughters. And I did a quote about, motherhood being your greatest teacher. And somebody decided to use that opportunity to body shame my daughters and my parenting. And it fired me right up. Then they wanted to post into my groups, and they wanted they decided they were going to be an advocate for whatever their belief was, right? They were going to be an advocate, and I was going to be the person that they were going to do it through. And we got them blocked from all the groups. We got them kind of out of the way. And I started thinking to myself, why would the universe show me this? Why would the universe show me the nastiness of the world today? Why did I get to see that? Why did I get to see that ugly part? What am I supposed to learn through this? And it came to me. Oh, Kathleen, you were meant to see this because you were meant to go bigger. You were meant to spread your message louder. You are meant to change the consciousness of the world in a bigger, more powerful way. And the only way to change that sort of behavior is for all of us to step up and to become better humans, to become more in spirit, to change our consciousness, and to truly be better. And so now I'm fired up. She allowed me to get fired up about the mission that I'm in, even more than I thought I was before. So now I get to be here and talk to all of you and tell a story of something that wasn't so good and turn it into a positive. There is more work to be done here. And that's what the universe was telling me. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Don't get small. Now is the time for you to move forward. So it was a glimpse of some of the negative parts of this world, the negative parts of the universal consciousness. All of our individual consciousness feeds into the global universal. So what this means then is that every single person, every single one of you that's listening today, that's hearing this message, is really going to now start to change that narrative. So the more people we can help, the bigger the difference in the change that we will make. So this is why self-awareness is huge. And what that person was doing was judging. And judgment is something within yourself that exists, whether you believe it or not. You can say you've done a lot of growth and you've worked on yourself for years. You don't judge anymore. I think you do. We all do. And so the important part is to ask yourself then, where am I judging myself? Where am I judging others? Where am I judging life? Where am I judging God, Spirit, Universe, Source, Creator, Formless Substance? Okay, you're going to hear me talk this way. I want to use language that you all can resonate with. So if you hear me use the word God, that's amazing. That's great. And if you resonate with it, fantastic. If I use the word spirit and that works for you and you resonate, fantastic. If I use the word universe and you resonate, fantastic. I'm talking about the same thing. Okay. We're talking about the energy that flows to and through all of us. Our source, our creator, it runs through us all. And it is something that is here to assist you and guide you through this journey here in this human body that you're in. You're here to have an experience. You're here to learn and to grow and to evolve and have an experience. And you have so much support and guidance if you will allow yourself to be open to it. But self-awareness is the first part. Okay? The second part is spirit. Oh, spirit, my favorite. So I love to talk about and understand how we live on 3 planes. So we are spiritual beings, okay, spiritual plane, in a physical body with an intellectual mind. And so how I see this is, let's get in spirit, let's connect spiritually, then let's use the intellectual mind, our software, our hardware, to create new ideas, and then let's move it into our physical body. So the 4-step manifestation process that I take every single time is, okay, I'm self-aware. First, what am I feeling today? What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? What actions am I taking? Who am I? How do I see myself? Etc., etc. Then we go into spirit. So the feeling of being in spirit, there is a word to describe this. Inspired. In spirit. I remember the day I realized that, I was like, oh man, I get it. Inspired. If you are not inspired every single day of your life, then what are you? Just there? Just existing? Just being? Just going through the day? We want to be inspired in spirit. Every single thing that you do every single day, if you are in spirit, will get a completely different result. Completely different. Now, how many of you are business owners? If you're a business owner, just like raise your hand or say me. Okay? This is so powerful. To be a business owner is an incredible thing. But it can mess you right up. Because if you are not in spirit, you will absolutely be taken down by the waves of entrepreneurship and business ownership. The other thing that I really feel is so incredibly powerful about what I teach and the way in which I teach it is that the action that you take today, the result of that action is entirely dependent upon the vibration that you're in. So if you are uninspired, if you're fearful, if you're worried, if you feel like you don't know what you're doing, if you feel like you're not sure things are going to work out, that is an energy that contributes to the result that you desire. And so being in spirit then, that is a completely different energy. Think about why you wanted to come onto this event, why you wanted to be here. You probably wanted to be inspired, right? But there was something that drew you to me. And oftentimes what draws you to somebody else is something that you like, you want to feel, you want to have yourself, but you just don't see it in you yet. And so you're like, ooh, I'm going to get into that energy so I can feel some of that. Well, let's not just influence each other for a few short minutes. Let's actually get into the energy now. Let's get inspired, but then let's transform to be inspired and be in flow every single day. Adrian, you have been watching me from the beginning. Absolutely. Delroy has as well. Yeah, absolutely. And it is a conscious decision every single day to be in spirit. I don't have a mindset routine. I have a spirituality routine. And it's not even a routine. It's things that I do every single morning to connect to my oneness. Okay? I will even correct myself there. It's not even to connect to my oneness. It's to experience the fullness of my oneness. Because you're always one with spirit. You're always one with God. You're always one with the universe. The universe is not separate from you. You are one with it. So the same creative power that has created everything, you have it. It is a part of you. I can't even begin to describe the magic that happens in my life. It feels like miracles or some sort of magic. I even actually like shock myself sometimes with this, because I think about something, I talk about something, boom, it shows up. I literally talk to you about something and boom, it shows up. And the bridge of incidents unfolds, and it's like, well, how did this happen? And I can trace it back, but I'm like, wow, universe, you were listening. You were literally listening to me the entire time, and you've responded. But then I also notice when the universe is listening to things that maybe aren't so good, right? So your magnet is always on. Your oneness with spirit is always on. There isn't a way for you to shut it down or shut it off. It's always on. But it's, what are you attracting? What is it that you are asking for? Who are you being? So at the front of this graphic, the manifest graphic, we put, who do I need to be? This is one of the best questions that you want to ask yourself over and over again. Who do I need to be to experience more joy? Who do I need to be to experience more happiness? Who do I need to be to experience higher levels of wealth? Who do I need to be to experience higher levels of business success? Who do I need to be to have better relationships? Etc., etc. I could go on and on. Whatever it is you want. I'm just saying the things that you most often want in your life are those things. Now, what's different about me and my manifestation process, and why I believe spirit is so incredibly important, is that many of the quantum leaps and the collapsing of time in my life have happened because of my faith. And it's not faith in someone. It's the faith of something, right? I read in a book once, and it said something like, you don't want to have faith in God, you want to have the faith of God. And that just, I felt that so strongly. It was like, oh, so if I am one with spirit, God, universe, I have the same forces within me. I have the same creative power. I have the same abilities to ask and receive. Then why do I not have the same faith? And so I go back to like some of the earlier times when I learned about God, and, you know, a man in a like a white outfit, and, you know, casts his magic wand. Okay, create this. Here we go. Boom, boom. I go back to that for a minute and I think, yeah, I don't think that like human version that we kind of created there. I don't think that there's any like, oh, I wonder if this is going to work today, and I wonder if my creation's going to happen, and oh, maybe I should wait until tomorrow when it's a better day, or I wonder if they're going to like it, or like, no. It's simply creation. It's simple response. It's just a, you know, to have the faith of God. I love that. I thought that was so beautiful. And so that takes you to a completely different level of faith. What is faith? Okay, so you all have your own idea of what it is. I actually got faith tattooed on my arm because it has been such an integral part of my journey. It means so much to me. And for a woman like me to have had zero faith for much of my life in many things, to have this tattooed is a reminder for me that, Kathleen, you have to do everything with faith. You have to do everything with faith. Faith is the magnetic power. I love that. Robert Russell, God works through faith. Success, in its simplest terms, is faith expressed in action. So beautiful. This is being in spirit. Because when you are in action in your business or in your career or in your job or whatever else, or in your life, and you are saying, okay, I'm taking action, I'm doing the things in my life, and you're doing them in a way that lacks faith, then what are you doing it with? Fear, worry, doubt. Success in its simplest terms is faith expressed in action. When you have faith, you move different. When you are in spirit, you move different. You fully express. You do not suppress. How many times do you suppress yourself? An idea comes and you say, oh, I don't know if that's very good. A thought comes that I'm going to launch this new program. Oh, but I don't know if people really want to learn that. Oh, I'm going to go live. Oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. Oh, my hair is not done. Oh, I don't know what to say. Oh, that makes me nervous. So what a lot of us are doing is we are moving our bodies towards the attainment of our goals in a mechanical and masculine way. Okay, so spirit and mechanical are like two ends of the spectrum for me. I'm in spirit, I'm in flow, I'm inspired, I feel amazing, I'm acting as if success is guaranteed, I'm in absolute faith, boom, success happens with ease and flow, feels amazing. And then there's being in the strict mechanical or the masculine, which is doing the things in your business. You got your daily method of operation, you're doing the things and you're just doing them. You're hoping that they work, you're just getting it done off the list. See, Norma, self-awareness. She just said, I'm in the mechanical right now. Beautiful. First step in the manifestation process is to be self-aware. So she is self-aware now. She's been in the mechanical. So the beautiful thing now, Norma, is to say, okay, starting today, I'm in spirit. You should be feeling it already. From the way that I'm talking, the energy you're in, the things that you're writing down, you should already be feeling a shift in the vibration that you're in. Because what we focus on and what we give attention to creates the vibration that we're in our body. Okay, so Abraham, the simplest way of describing like your vibration, whether it's good or bad, positive or negative, whether it's what you want or what you don't want, it's so easy. When you're in a good vibration, okay, so what are emotions? Are words to describe your vibration. So what are vibrations that are positive, empowering, the ones that you want? Love, joy, happiness, inspiration, excitement, expectation, anticipation. These are all vibrational states. Okay, we're using words, emotions to describe them that feel good. So when you feel good, it's because your focused attention is on something good. Something you like, something you want, something somebody else has. So what you focus on, you feel. So let's go to the opposite then. If you're feeling worried, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling fearful, if you're doubtful, if you feel melancholy, if you're bored, uninspired, what's going on there? You're focusing on something you don't want, you don't like. Quite simple. So right now, what we did for you this morning so far, is we've shifted your focus. See how beautiful that is? Now your mind is focused on something that you like. They're good thoughts. They're good ideas. They're good possibilities. So now your vibration is going up. I think about in spirit as well. I'm going to give you an example that I use all the time with my millionaire students. I have a program called Millionaire, and I use this example. To be in spirit for something is to be engaged in it, fully engaged. So when I read a book, I can sit and read a book and just read a few pages. My mind is like elsewhere. I'll read a few pages of the book and I have no idea what it says, and I just keep moving. Or I'm studying a book. I am in spirit, I am engaged. I have a highlighter, I have a pencil, I have a cup of tea, some nice warm socks sitting under my blanket, and I'm studying that book. I am fully there. I am in spirit, I am focused. Boom. I get so much more out of that book. Another example, we have a couple men on here today, football. So when you watch football every single Sunday and you are on your phone scrolling while watching the football game, or it's playing in the background while you're like cleaning up or whatever else, you call your mom during the game, completely different than Super Bowl Sunday. When we turn on that Super Bowl, we invite friends over, we have a party, we put face paint on, we make chili and all kinds of food, we have a party, and everybody's cheering and watching the game. That's in spirit. That's inspired. So I'll call it like I see it. This event right here. The people that are going to get the most out of these 2 to 3 days are the ones who are in spirit, the ones that are here with a pen and paper, taking notes, watching, who put it in their calendar, who took the time to say, I'm going to be here. So in this moment, you can shift it. If you've noticed, you've been checking your phone, you've been looking, you've been getting up and going somewhere, you're kind of listening, kind of not. And I'm not saying if you have a job, I know there's some of you that are multitasking, great. But if you can stay with us, this will transform you on its own. Just this 2-day event. I say 2 to 3 day because our third day on Saturday is VIP day. So that's a day for people who really want to take this up a notch, that want to go to the next level. And so it's not a requirement. The 2 days of content are Thursday, Friday, but Saturday's a VIP day. So if you want to get into my energy in a smaller way, you'll come on for Saturday. So that's why I say that. But see the difference between like being mechanical with things and being in spirit. And my business changed so much when I really, really connected to my oneness. My book, Becoming the One. Let me know if you've read it already. You can get a free download for it. You don't need to purchase it off of Amazon, although it's a nice little fun read. But that book, oh, Kylie has it. Beautiful. That book is the story of the first quantum leap in my life. So I went from being a nurse making $35,000 to $5,000 a month to 3.3 million in my business in the very first year of business. And so that book describes the shift in my consciousness in order to do that. But one of the things that Bob Proctor said in a meeting one day, and I didn't even realize it myself until he said it, after it had been written, he wrote the foreword. After it had been written, we were on a meeting and somebody asked a question about God and oneness or whatever. And he goes, oh, if you want to read about becoming one with spirit, just read Kathleen Cameron's book, Becoming the One. That's her story of it. And I went, oh my God. It's the story of me finding God. Like what? And look what it did in my life, what it created for me. So powerful. So this is why this section, to me, let's not map out what we want for our lives until we're in spirit. Let's not start to pick the house and the business of our dreams until we believe in our oneness. Let's not create a vision for our future until we have really, really tapped into a higher power that is here to support you, to guide you, that wants you to have everything that you've ever wanted. We were not put here in these bodies to suffer and to struggle. I really, really do not believe that. I do not believe that is our natural state. I believe that we are absolutely meant to prosper. We are meant to live in abundance. There is abundance all around us every single day. But over the course of time, and this is our human sides to us, want us to see how hard it is, to see how limited it is, to make us feel tight in areas. And so what if we just started to believe that we were meant for more? It is what makes us so incredibly special. It's what makes us different than anything else on this planet. It's really about continuing to rise and grow, to experience the fullness of life and the wholeness of who you are. And this is what we are so blessed to be able to do. And every single one of us has gone through this journey and this process ourselves first. We had to go through this process in order to be able to be here to support you through it yourself. And so it's a beautiful honor, but it never stops. It always keeps going and going and going. So we're at 11 o'clock. Tommy, you ready to do those interviews?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this movie idea and how we're going to start to write a new movie today, okay? Movie of your life. So when I come back, that's what we're going to talk about. But Tommy, you take it away.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Kathleen. Hi, everybody. So we're going to do a couple of interviews here. So first up is Miss Christine Haney. Are you here, Christine? There she is.
Hello.
Hi. You're unmuted. Oops, now you're muted again.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Here we go. We can hear you. Yes. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you, Tommy?
Well, I'm fantastic. It's great to meet you.
Great to meet you. I've seen you lots of times now. And my gosh, that was just amazing with Kathleen as well. And
Oh,
I
I
love
know.
the butterfly. I have to share my little butterfly ring.
Oh, look at your butterfly. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. So it sounds like you have quite a story to share with us. So start wherever you want.
I do have quite a story. So, it's really interesting when Kathleen was talking about the law of cause and effect, because I will tell you, about a year, actually about 15 months ago, my life really started to fall apart. And one of the epiphanies I recently had is that on some level, I attracted all of this into my life. Now, 15 months ago, I would have told you, no way, I didn't cause that. But it's all about the vibration and the frequency. So I will say I've always been a decent manifester in my life, had a lot of success. But when I joined Millionaire, I was going through the darkest night of my soul. So in 2021, I had accepted a new career opportunity with a company, and they had mandated a vaccine as a condition of employment. And so got the vaccine. Little did I know that I would have immediate acute reactions to the vaccine. My body continued to deteriorate for months after that. And so I was trying to find the right care team, trying to advocate, to get to that care team. And by 7 months after that, I had been diagnosed with about a dozen medical conditions.
Wow.
Not including the inevitable depression and anxiety that goes with that. And I'm a mother of 3 kids. So in the midst of all of that, I was placed on medical leave, eventually disability, and then have been married for over 20 years. And I came home from the clinic one night and my husband said, I'm leaving. So he left. We didn't know where he was going. And so it was just, one thing after another, like my car broke, a computer broke, just everything that could go wrong was going wrong. So it was me and the 3 kids, and this really impacted every area of my life. And I really started to feel like the cobbler with no shoes. And anyone that knows me knows that I love shoes. And so the reason I felt like that is for much of my international career, I had built and designed employee benefit and well-being programs. And I did that from the state of a very healthy, energetic person. I had never been the sick patient, that employee that needed help and needed support. And I really felt like for the first time in my life, I really needed help. And I will admit, like one of my limiting beliefs, I was never open to receiving help before that. I was like, no, I got this, I'm fine. And so I learned a lot of compassion, and I'm rebuilding my shoe collection. And so, yeah, those were like my darkest hours. I was in a lot of chronic pain. It was really challenging. I would spend days, 4 to 5, 6 doctor's appointments per day, and then taking care of the kids and figuring things out. And then also like friends and family. There were the people that were so loving and so supportive. And then there was the people that were so judgmental, that were saying things like, are you sure that really happened to you? You're getting older. Or, they had political beliefs. And so my circle became smaller and smaller, and I became very insular. I had lost my self-identity. I couldn't play basketball with my kids. I couldn't go for a run outside. I couldn't travel the world anymore. And I did become very aware of my biggest limiting belief, which was fear of judgment. Like I started to feel invisible. I started to feel unseen, not heard. And so by June of this year, I was at my wit's end. I had 29 side effects to medications that I was on. I was not seeing any improvements in my health at all. And I really started to study the medical, the metaphysical, and the spiritual meanings of what was happening to me. And then I started to observe my pain rather than be my pain. And this is when some magic really happened in my life. I started to, like I said, I went within. I asked Spirit in the universe for help. And this is when Kathleen Cameron started showing up in my Facebook feed. I had never seen her. I'd never heard of her. And I was just fascinated. I'm like, who is this amazing, glowing woman? And everything she said just really resonated with me. So the next thing I know, I was at Chosen, and then I was at Becoming the One. And then I joined Millionaire. I manifested that. Wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it. But I have to say, and then Kathleen was talking about being inspired, to be in spirit. And I was so inspired by Kathleen. I was so inspired by Alana and Jesse as well, and really followed my heart. I knew I wanted to do Millionaire. And now I'm here.
Wow. That's amazing. So where are you at now health-wise?
Yeah, health-wise, I'm making a lot of improvements. A lot of things have started to change and shift. So one of the things that had happened to me, I couldn't use my right arm. It was very limited. And I can now, I'm getting full motion back of my arm.
Wow.
And for me, that was really exciting. My kids are like, okay, Mom, that's great. And I'm like, no, it's really a big deal, especially when you have a family of kids that play basketball. And also my migraines, they're coming in less frequencies. They're not as painful. I will admit, I had a couple of days this week that were really tough. But again, I had to go within, shift the perception. And something I have learned through Kathleen and the team here in the embodiment sessions is how to feel, radiant and healthy from head to toe. And I realized as I was going through the program that I need to feel whole and healthy. I need to embody that before I can be that. I can't have healing as the end result. And so every day I'm really working on embodying that. And I will say Kathleen is a pioneer in embodiment. It's amazing. I've never felt anything like this, never seen anything like this. And so my health continues to get better day by day. I have a lot of medical conditions I'm working through. So it's taking time, but it gives me hope. And now I'm building on the manifestations of the manifestations, because now I'm self-aware of what were my limiting beliefs. And I did an exercise earlier this week and I figured out, wow, I have limiting beliefs to my limiting beliefs to my limiting beliefs. And so, and I've also learned you can change those really in an instant, 5 seconds, like the book Happier Than God talks about. So that's where I am. And I've started, not only manifesting healing, which was my ultimate objective, but other things in my life are showing up as well that have been really amazing.
Oh, that's cool. Like what?
Well, gosh, I had my dad came to town and he watched my 3 kids, and I finally got to take a break and kind of hit reset. So the kids were taken care of. A friend had lined up a posh hotel room, and
Nice.
Yeah, with a rooftop pool and really good food. There was even a bathtub because baths can really help with inflammation. So I did that, and then I also got to go to a VIP event and meet members of a band, and got a kiss on the cheek from the drummer. I mean, just little things like that. And
that's amazing.
Just manifesting, things like money or a spa gift. And there's been so many. As a matter of fact, Tommy, oh my gosh, this is the last 2 weeks. It's filled. I filled it with all my epiphanies, my gratitude, and my wins.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. I've got a wins journal too. It's such a good thing to have. So you stumbled across Kathleen in June, and then you joined Millionaire when, a couple months ago?
I joined on September 7th.
September 7th.
Took me a little bit of time to manifest how I was going to do that. Going a lot of bills and medical conditions and divorce attorneys. And so, so I joined September 7th. It was the best birthday gift to myself. So in has it been a month? What is today?
Yeah, just like a little over a month. That's awesome. How did you manifest that?
Well, it was interesting. I went through this creative experience with Alana and Jesse because, I had these conversations. I said, in my heart, I really want to do this. And I've been looking at multiple different things, like, what do I want to do next? I knew I needed something to help me get to the next level of me. And when they offered to do that, I thought, okay, but I have exhausted all avenues. There's just absolutely, there's no possibilities. And after we walked through that exercise, it didn't come to me immediately, but I woke up the next morning and I had all these aha moments of, okay, well, I can tap into this, with a penalty or without a penalty. And so that's really the short story.
That's awesome. I love that. So, I mean, this is your third event like this with us then. So you were at 2 events before you joined. What would be some advice that you would give to somebody who's new to these events with us, or maybe just have been to 1 or 2? What would your advice be to get the most out of this, the rest of this?
Wow, what a great question. I would say, really feel the spirit and go within, and you can just feel that. You can feel that consciousness here, live and even on the replays. And so really, I would say to center on your feelings and focus on your feelings and see what comes of that.
Okay, yeah, great, absolutely. What would you say are some of the most powerful things that you've learned from Kathleen since you've been listening to her?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have learned to put myself first, and maybe for the first time in my life to really truly listen to, what do I want? And honestly, I don't even know if I know what I want. I've really been focused on those questions every single day. I do the gratitude and the lessons and the visualizations. By the way, the visualizations and the meditations, they're so powerful sometimes. I don't even want to leave that imaginary place. I love it there. And so I would say that has been really powerful, realizing that your future is the subconscious and the subconscious is your future. That's probably the most powerful takeaway that I have had. And then taking the time to focus on yourself. And so I have better boundaries now. My 3 kids are like, no, Mom, really? And I'm like, yeah, really, this is for me. And in 1 hour, we can be.
Absolutely. So when did all of this, because it sounds like you kind of were really sort of in a tough spot with all this medical stuff and everything for about a year or so. When did all this start to turn around?
Well, it really just started to turn around within the last month.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I started to make some major radical shifts in June of this year. So this actually all started to happen to me in August of 2021. And it progressively got worse. Yep. December, January was the worst of it. And by June, I was on multiple medications. And I finally said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not living this way. And it was just really one of those shifts in my mind. And that's where I attracted Kathleen into my consciousness and found her.
That's really amazing. I mean, I would find it very understandable if anybody's sitting here listening to this thinking nah, she was always, this positive or whatever. How were you able to just flip it so quickly? I mean, just since June.
Gosh, that is a really fascinating question because in all honesty, I'm still dealing with a lot. I've had tough days this week. And one of the things I've learned from Kathleen is to focus on your feelings. And so there's times where, for example, yesterday, instead of panicking that I hadn't done all of the things that I needed to do related to the studies, I just said, you know what, that's okay. Mm-hmm. I'm in pain. I'm going to observe my pain and I'm going to feel this and I'm going to embody healing. I'm going to embody radiance as much as I can. And so I can't even say that I do. And by the way, former Christine was a perfectionist. Everything had to be right. I had to go through the whole book. Yes. And now it's I don't know, my life is a mess. I'm a mess. But I'm at peace with it. I have a lot of peace, which I never could have imagined, honestly.
Yeah. Sounds like huge progress. That's so good. Let's talk about Millionaire for a second. I mean, it sounds like that's helping you a lot with this. I mean, it's not necessarily what you would think like a program called Millionaire is going to help you do, but what have you been learning there?
I've been learning so much there, and it ties into becoming who I want to be. And I knew in order for me to rebuild my wealth and get back to the things I love to do in the work world, I needed my health back and just, some basic levels of function. And so it has set the foundation for that. And through Millionaire, I'm learning, really the right way to ask myself, who am I? And I become ultra self-aware. Like, remember the limiting beliefs I was talking about, and then the underpinnings to those limiting beliefs, really peeling back those layers. And then I'm asking myself, what do I like? What do I love? What do I want? And it's leading to all kinds of possibilities. And through Millionaire too, in that study, I have to say, I'm not looking for job opportunities right now, but they have been coming to me.
Yeah.
And so it's really helping me to define, who am I and what do I really want and what matters most to me. And also, I have to say, the other important thing that's coming out of Millionaire, I've been hiding for a really long time. That fear of judgment, that fear of what my family and friends or even strangers would say, or the fear about what I judged about myself really got in the way. So I'm asking myself, how can I serve? How can I use my gifts? How can I influence one person that might be maybe having some challenging medical conditions today? And I have to say, even my doctors at Mayo Clinic and other clinics as well, they're like, what are you doing? And I tell them, I'm studying my mind. And they're like, no, really, what are you doing? And I'm like, that is what shifted. I mean, after going through the Western medical system, of course, I did a lot of alternative medical therapies, but that is what I'm doing now. And it's really hard for them to grasp.
Yeah.
But they're like, keep doing what you're doing.
That's amazing. That's really, really inspiring. Christine, what is next for you?
My gosh, what is next? Oh, well, I'm like the butterfly emerging from its cocoon, and there's so many exciting possibilities in the future. And I want to get back to my global business world, and there's a lot of things I want. But most of all, I want health, I want healing, and for my kids as well. My 3 kids have been through this with me. It's been really the 4 of us, and we're really close knit, and they're aligning as well. So it's exciting to see what possibilities will manifest. And I have to say too, even in this journal, so one of the things I manifested was this candle that came through a friend, and it's called 1,000 Wishes. So I started to outline like 1,000 things that I want to manifest.
Oh, cool. Love that. That's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing your story. This is super inspiring. Is there anything you want to say that you haven't said?
Gosh, well, if you are thinking about investing in yourself and want to go next level and just truly embody what you're looking for, this is the most amazing place to be.
Oh, well, we didn't pay her to say that at all.
That's how I feel.
That's so good. Thank you, Christine. Round of applause for you.
Thank you.
So appreciate you. Thank you so much. Rooting for you all the way. Okay, so next up here we have Lydia. Lydia, my dear. Here she is. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Tommy? So nice to meet you.
I'm great. It's so nice to meet you too. And wow, you too have a fabulous story. I just read a little bit about it, and I just can't wait to hear the whole thing. So start from the beginning.
Okay, so I'm originally born and raised in Canada, lived there my entire life. So let's go back 18 months. I'm living in Oakville, Canada. I was just itching in a while, when Kathleen says you attract everything you want, I was in that mode of, I want more, I need more. I was doing really well but just like really well, like above average, but like I was in that I want more. So I ran into a friend. We were part of the same network marketing group, and she was just on fire. The way she would speak, the way she was connected to God, the way she was going on and on. I was like, Reem, I want what you have. Like, what are you doing? And I said, don't tell me it's this and that. She said, well, I really shouldn't say this because it's something like outside of our company. And I'm taking this course. So I said, okay. She told me how much the course costed, first of all. And I was like, no effing way would I ever pay that much to do something like that. But I started following Kathleen. So I was just like everybody else, I started following her on Instagram and looking at her little clips, little videos. And I'm like, I'm so like drawn by her. I want to be like in her presence. And it was my luck that she was just doing one of these events. I think it was Thoughts into Things, something like that. That's what the 3-day free program was. I was hooked. I got on, I was on live. I was just glued. And by the end of the weekend, I was like, oh, holy shit, how am I going to tell my husband that I'm signing up for this? Like, I just don't know. I mean, I knew because she gave us some advice right there about manifesting it. So I started imagining, I was like, I need to be in her presence. I know this is going to take me to a new level.
Yeah.
And I actually literally started visualizing, telling my husband about the course. Back then it was TIR, and telling him the price, and him saying to me, honey, I support you. And this is like, a person that, like, I think the last time I told him I was taking a course that was $800, he was like, what are you talking about? And so I said, no, and the cost was, I'm just going to say, because we can be honest on here, it's 10,000 American, and that's it. And he looked at me, gave me that nod, and he said, if you really want to do it, do it. And that is so, like, I was expecting it, but not expecting it. So it all started there. So like, I just was so excited that, okay, I get to do this. And it started off and it was wonderful. This was nothing that I was ever doing. So I was trying to play around with the whole thing, like doing the classes, being on live was like mandatory. I was doing my meditation, visualization, reading. And then I honed into like a regular, got into like, brought it down in timing. And I was just visualizing so much. After I did a script of what I wanted, what I wanted my life to look like, I was just visualizing so much. And then reading the materials, I really actually, it wasn't happening at first. I can't say that. It was just a practice thing. And I started feeling it. I started really feeling so happy as if I'm living this different life, but I was living the same life. I was working the same job, which I was really not liking. I had a wonderful job at a bank with beautiful clients. But during COVID, I just became 8 hours in front of the computer, and I was getting so uninspired. So I, was constantly visualizing, becoming more aware of how I was responding. And the first thing that I noticed change in my life was my relationship with my husband. Just became super calm. It really and we're yellers. We're like Europeans. So we're like, we like, that's our go-to, right? But that really stopped, because I would just listen and not react, just respond. And it was the same, it was the same conversations, but suddenly, like, he was changing. I was getting calmer. Things were like flowing in the house. And he said to me about a month or two into the course, he said, and he didn't really believe. I was already telling him what I'm manifesting. He was like, yeah. Okay, no worries. And I said, yeah, that it's all going to happen like that. And he said, this course, he said, for what's happening between us, it's not worth 10,000, it's worth 100,000. And I said, you're like that, just hearing that alone.
Yeah.
So I was a couple of months into it, and our life was that normally would come to Croatia every summer. We have an apartment here by on the coast. And usually I come for 3 weeks because I had a job, and he would come for about 5 or 6 weeks with the kids. I couldn't go any longer. And I just want to come into some of the manifestations now. So one evening, I used to live in Oakville by the lake, and we were taking a walk a few weeks before he left for Croatia, and my husband worked construction. And one of the things that he would use is milk cartons. He's a pretty tall guy, so he wouldn't use like ladders to do his job in the basement. He was like a heating installer. And to get up to those pipes, he would always stand on milk cartons. He's like, he goes, I could use those milk cartons. I said, okay, let's just take it home. And he goes, there's another one there. I'm going to take 2. And I said, you don't need 2. And I said, don't take the other one. He said, what are you talking about? And I said, this milk carton is going to be the last milk carton you're going to do used. I said, because you're not doing construction anymore. And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, by the end of the year, you and I are retired. And he was like, come on. And I'm like, no, seriously, just take one. And he's like, okay, fine. He took it. That would be like, these are some of the things I remember, because I don't have the best memory. Some of these things people are telling me and my family what I said. And then a few things would happen. Like while we were in Croatia, we had a very old car here that we'd shipped a long time ago, an Altima, and the radio never worked on it. It had been here for like 15 years, this car, but it still like worked, and we used it every summer. Mm-hmm. And my husband said, next summer, we're going to send this audio, blah, 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 for the car. And I said, no, I go, you don't need to do that. And I go, and he said, what do you mean? He goes, I want music in the car. And I said, I know. And I said, but next summer, you're going to be driving a luxury car here in Croatia. And he goes, you're crazy. And I said, no. I said, that's the way it's going to be. And these were all things that I had written out and I'd listened to over and over and over again. I said my own audio. And he said, my son, my little guy, we visited the city where we're in right now, Zagreb. And he said, I said to him, I said, Leon, wouldn't it be cool to live here? And he said, yeah. I said, but Mama, like, how am I going to know like Croatian, like the other kids? I only know like very little. And I said, oh, don't worry. I said, I would just put you in private school. I said, if we ever lived here, but like, you know, you don't have to worry about something like that. He goes, that would be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. We come home in August, and a lot of things happened, as we call the bridge of incidences, right? Like all the things that my father passed away, which has a lot of connection because we brought my mom with us, and we would never have been able to bring my dad because he was ill. You know, we all know what happened like in Canada, you know, like during that time last year, a lot of new restrictions and whatnot. And my husband and I said, you know what, let's put the house up for sale. We'd built this dream house in Oakville. I never, ever thought I'd move from it. Like we custom built it for ourselves. And that dream house really was our dream house. I promised I would never sell. I told so many people, and they're like, why did you that was your dream house? And I said, it is my dream house because it made all my dreams come true. So we put the house up for sale, and we packed a container and we moved to Croatia. And we both retired from our jobs, and I retired from jobs, not retired, but I'm no longer employable. I will never work for somebody else. He's no longer doing construction. He couldn't believe that, you know, like he's coming back home because my husband is from Croatia. His mother still lives here and sisters on the coast. But we're in the capital city here because myself and the kids, we are always like, no, we got to live in a city. We got to live in like a cosmopolitan city with universities and shopping and all the great things. But it's just a wonderful, wonderful life that we're like, I feel like I'm living a dream. I feel like my son and I watched Julia the other night, that Julia Child's movies. Yeah. And when she gets to Paris and she's like, gets to her apartment, and that's what I'm in this old city apartment with 14 feet ceilings. And I'm like, feel like I'm in Versailles. Like, I just feel amazing. We go to the market. My husband and I go to the gym together. We work out. We were in Croatia and on the coast all summer long. I didn't have to worry about coming back to a job. Kids are doing well.
Wow.
And I have to say, like, it never, ever, ever would have happened. I never would have had that guts. This is what life was supposed to be like. That, like, I just feel like Kathleen and this community gave me that nudge. I have to say thank you to both Lisa and Elena, Lisa was at the beginning, and Elena, like, for helping me out and coaching me. It was, I don't know, what else can I say, Tommy? Let me know.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, you've said a lot. That's so cool. Like, I was going to say, like, what do you attribute all of that to?
First, Kathleen, and for just like giving me that strength to know that, yeah. I mean, I would never, you know, I know, like she says, like, you know, you can't think that she's better than me or I'm better than you. And she did the same for Bob, but I still do that. Like, I do have a little bit of that, like, awe with her, but yeah. She inspired me to know that what she has in her, I have in me. And I feel like I do that with so many other people here. I'm not one of your coaches, but like, I just love doing that with people here. My kids, They've manifested things. Their friends they're like, well, your mom should be a life coach. Cause like, I'll talk to them. I'll be like, okay, tell them this, this, and this. Or my daughter will be like, oh, you'll be so happy. Like, you'll be so proud of me. This is what I told my boyfriend today, because he was feeling down. And I was like, you're so good. Yes. That's the way we need to speak to each other and lift each other up.
Yeah. It is kind of hard to kind of get this into your DNA and not share it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Why wouldn't we share it? Why wouldn't you share it? Because it feels so good.
Yeah, it's true. What would you say to someone who's thinking about, maybe getting into this in a deeper level? We haven't talked about programs yet really here, but what would you say?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm jumping ahead. Maybe I should have come on VIP day. I'm just telling you right now, whoever's on, if you're not part of this community and you want something else, like Kathleen said, you have to be ready. Like, there's nothing worse than like pulling somebody along that doesn't want to be pulled. But if you want something and you want something new and you want this energy that you can't find, like, that there is something, but you don't know exactly where it is, you're going to find it here in this community. I just feel that I don't think at anyone, I've listened to a lot of people, like videos and courses and whatnot, but I don't think anybody can communicate it like Kathleen. I don't think anybody, and honestly, and sometimes that almost worries me when I look at like you and when she talks about $100 million Kathleen, I'm like, oh no, am I ever not going to have access to her? Because she'd be a world superstar, but she will be, because this, like, I think she's like top, as we say in Zagreb here, top.
Oh, so agree. Well, Kathleen has rejoined us here. I feel like she just might have something to add or want to say to you, Lydia.
Oh, my heart. Hold on. Am I unmuted? No. Okay.
Yeah, no, we hear you.
It's usually I'm the one doing these interviews, but I'm listening to Brianne. I think she's watching. I'm listening when she's wanting me to rest my voice a bit. So that's why I didn't do the interviews, but I'm sitting here listening to every single word and just feeling so honored and grateful to be a part of both you and Christine's journey, Lydia. Like, I have watched you from the very beginning. I know how hard it felt at first. And to hear you talk about where you're at now and your family and like how you're feeling. And this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, is helping people to really start to live the life that you want. Chris came in here while you were talking, Lydia, and he was like, did you hear what she just said? I'm like, what? And he's like,
I love his watches.
Yeah. But he was just so impressed with what you said about Dream House. The way you change the way you see your dream house. It's not something that we dream about and then forever have to stay in, but it's a house where all your dreams came true. Like, I love that. That's like my house in Guelph, Ontario. That my office was a dining room, and I literally built Diamond Academy from scratch in that house. And so now I can sit here and go back and say, yeah, that was my dream house. And then now this one is the next one where we're building $100 million Kathleen in this house. So I love that. I think that was so profound what you said. Really powerful. I'm grateful for you, Christine. I'm grateful for you too. And I'm so glad that your health is improving. I think if we don't have health and longevity, then like, what do we have? What are we here for? Right? Yeah. Thank you both for sharing today. I know the point of bringing you guys on is I really want you all to see that there are people all around us in our community and in our energy that are changing and are shifting dramatically. And, we had so many people that wanted to share on here that we had to say, sorry, you'll have to come on next time. Like, what a positive problem. And so, it really is up to you. And I think the most important thing about both Lydia and Christine is that they both took responsibility for themselves, for their own thinking, for their own lives, and created something different. So thank you guys for sharing. I appreciate you both so much.
One more round of applause. Thank you. All right, Kathleen, it's all yours.
Okay, so we got about 25 minutes here. So I was thinking this morning as I was doing my hair and listening to some good music. I use music a lot in my journey. And so Tommy and his love of music too has just coincided so beautifully for us to add that component to manifestation. But music allows me to really feel the feeling of something. And so I use it very purposely, very intentionally. But while I was listening to music this morning and I was thinking about our exercise, so we actually came up with this activity, this homework, this exercise that you guys are going to do. And it is so much fun. Like our team did it. It's a blast. So Tommy will say that at the end, but it's got me thinking about movies. And it's got me thinking about a story well told, you know. And so Christine just came on and she told a portion of her story, and Lydia just came on and told a portion of her story. And I get the opportunity to tell my story. And I think about this idea of a movie, you know, it's, a movie is something that we sit down and we watch, but a movie has certain parts of it. And so I want us to really, really think about all these different parts of our movie that we're going to create starting today. So even my team, no matter where you are in your journey, we're starting a new movie today. So maybe this is, you know, number 2, number 3, number 4, you know, all these movies that have the different, what do you call them? Like sequels. Yes. Chris yelled from there, sequels. Thank you. So it's so fun because you can it just keeps going. It's forever. But we want to have certain things. So I started thinking to myself this morning, okay, like what is the main component of a movie? And the main component of the movie is kind of like the plot. Like what's the plot going to be? So ask yourself, like, what is the plot going to be of this movie that I'm going to create now? Whether it's the first movie, whether it's a sequel, like what is it that's going to happen next? What's the plot? What's like the overall synopsis? I'll tell you mine in September of 2019. I literally wrote down, like, this is a comeback story. You know, this is like, oh yeah, this is where things turn around. And it's like, whoa, she came out of nowhere. Like, where did that come from? Like, she did what? You know? So maybe it's a comeback story. Maybe it's a story of like the underdog or whatever else. Like really start to think about that. Like, what do you want the plot of this movie now to be? Remember that whatever it is that you're writing down here, the energy that you're in, the things that you're going to write, you're creating it. It's done. It's like a grocery list. So we're literally writing the movie and then you'll experience it. So tomorrow we're going to go more in depth. Now I'm starting to get you to think intellectually. So now I'm starting to get you to use your mind and your imagination to start to build this out. So what's the plot? Okay, so what's the overall plot of this story? It might be helpful for you to use a time frame. So maybe you want to talk about the next 6 months. Maybe you want to talk about the next 1 year. Maybe it's the story of 2 years, whatever you want. It was so fun. What ended up happening is like, I wrote the story. I wrote like the movie, like what happens in my movie. I think I did like 6 months. And so much changed on the course of that 6 months that like what I had written down happened in like 4 months. So what if that is what happens here? Whatever you write down happens. The other thing that I want to pay attention to in movies is that there's different characters. There's main character and then there's supporting characters. This is huge, you guys. You cannot be a supporting character in your movie. You cannot. It doesn't work that way. You have to be main character energy. So your movie is coming from your perspective. This is the story of your life, not anybody else's. So many times we allow other people to be the main characters and we become supporting. And I know that this is a common thing. So you heard Lydia say that one of the things about being in the energy here at Diamond Academy and in my energy was that she put herself first. Main character energy. That's totally different. So think about how you can come out from behind and come to the front. So previous Kathleen's, past versions of me, was someone that would always sit in the back of the class. I wanted to find a seat near the back. I didn't want to be up near the front. And I also would never raise my hand. So I would never be like, me. I would just kind of sit there. I would think things and I would have ideas and I would have questions, but I would never ask them. I would never raise my hand. So it was this suppression. It was like, no, I want to be hidden. I don't want to be seen. I want to be quiet. I want to just fit in. I want to just fit in. Have you ever wanted to just fit in? So what I'm getting you to tap into here is this idea of stepping out and becoming the star of your own movie, of creating the new plot of what is about to happen. And we're doing this in an energy of, when I change my life, I change the lives of everyone around me. It's not, I'm going to go change everybody's life. I'm going to help this person change their life. I'm going to help this person change their life. I'm going to help this person. But I'm going to be over here exhausted and tired and unfulfilled and not experiencing anything. The reason why any of you are on here today is because of the work that I did on myself. Because I went within and I said, I want to be better. I want to achieve more. I want to do more. I want to help more people. Because I asked myself the hard questions. When I became the main character in my movie is when everything changed. So who's the main character? You are. Are you a good main character? Would you want to watch you? Would you want to watch your story? Would you want to watch the rise? Many people have a lot of faith in me, like a lot. And I feel so honored that people believe in me so much. Like, people say to me, I have no doubt, Kathleen, like, you're going to achieve anything you ever wanted in life. Hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, I know you're going to do it. I believe in you. And I'm like, okay, I'm so glad that you have that belief in me. But it's going to be a pretty lame story if I don't have that belief in myself, because I'm going to give up at the first sign of difficulty. As soon as there's conflict, I'm out, going back to the back of the class. As soon as I have a doubt or a worry or a fear, I'm going to suddenly be a failure and the movie's going to end. And so I think about this main character energy is that faith and that belief that you have in someone else, you need to take that and give it to yourself. So don't believe in me that much, believe in yourself that much. Say, well, if Kathleen did it, I can do it. If Tommy did it, I can do it. If Angie did it, I can do it. Whoever you're seeing do something that inspires you, that makes you want to feel motivated, decide, this is next for me. And so some of you may be in a place where you've achieved some success in your life and felt good. And then there's a moment where things went a little slower or lower. Okay. So you've achieved things, you felt good about yourself, and then there's a lull back down. And now you're feeling like, I don't know what to do next. I really want success. I thought it was going to happen. It didn't happen. Am I a failure? Do I know what to do? Is it possible for me to turn it around, et cetera, et cetera? And I want you to move out of that energy right now. And I want you to say, today is the day that the plot twist happens. There's always a plot twist, right? The movie's going along and you think it's going to be like whatever, and then boom, there's a shift. And so what if the story now becomes, oh my God, this one day I went on to this manifest training. I don't even know where it came from, with some woman named Kathleen. And she really inspired me, and I wrote my movie, and wow, my life changed before my eyes in a matter of months. I didn't believe in myself, and now how could I have never believed in myself? The belief I hold in myself now is so unwavering that I have no idea how I didn't believe in myself before. The success that I have in my life right now is unreal. It's easy, it's effortless, it's flowing. You have to write the movie now before you can go back. You have to write it right now, today. And you experience it in your imagination. Our subconscious mind does not know the difference between something that we've created in our imagination, a past experience, or what's happening right now today. So we write this movie, we write the plot, we say, what's the plot twist? Who's the main character? Me. Who's the supporting characters? What happens? We go, we visualize it, we feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. We have done so much beautiful energetic work that propels us forward psychologically, which then allows our body to physically follow suit. So psychologically, I am always ahead of myself physically. So that means $100 million Kathleen, I'm her right now. The 100 million is on its way into the 3D world, right? So this is what we're doing, this idea of a movie. This is just a tool. It's an exciting little fun little way of manifesting the future version of yourself to become today. So this is where we don't follow through though. We write the movie. Oh, sounds nice. Might be good. It's just a dream. And we stop there. But tomorrow we're going to talk about how we're not going to stop there. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how we're going to take that movie. We're going to create a new idea, an intellectual idea around it. We're going to create an identity from that. And then we're going to move it into the body. We're going to embody it. We're going to embody the main character energy of that movie. Okay. The other thing that I think is really, really important to mention, okay, and realism is important. And I think on social media, we lose sight of how life really is. Social media can be a very, very interesting place because if you really took social media to be an accurate representation of someone's life, you're being misguided. I am someone who really, really believes that it's important to be upfront and honest and to share all areas of life and not just the positive side, not just the good. So for me, I really have been very open and honest about the struggles. I don't even want to use that word. Contrast. Let's say that contrast that's happened in life. And so things like, my surgery. I got sick in April and ended up having to have lung surgery in May in Miami and to be away from my girls for 3 weeks. And the recovery has been, it's been a recovery, a miraculous one. But it's an example of the parts of life that make the movie the most interesting. Okay. So when you watch a movie, there's always going to be conflict and then resolution. There's always going to be adversity and then perseverance. There's always going to be the ups and downs, the waves of life. It's always going to happen. And so if we can be more open and honest about all of these things, the more likely it is for all of us to be able to learn and grow from each other. But if I'm posting all of my success all the time and all my wins all the time and how everything is perfect and luxurious and my environment is spotless and my house is pristine and perfect and I drive the perfect car and I have the perfect life and I have the perfect health and I never experience contrast, it is not real and it is not by law. Okay, so the law of rhythm is another universal law. What goes up must come down. There is a top, there is a bottom, there is a high, there is a low, always. We always experience the waves of life. That's what makes the movie interesting. You can't be grateful for and experience the light until you have experienced the darkness. You don't know you want more money until you experience what it feels like to have none. So this is what makes it this up and down. So there's a beginning to the story, and then there's a middle part where there's some sort of adversity, and then they overcome it, and then at the end they've persevered, and that's what keeps you. And so life is like that. So what we do here is we allow you to transform yourself in your life like this. Okay, so you go from where you are today, we change the paradigm, we change the narrative, we change the idea, and you go up like this. But what it's going to feel like is this. Right? Yeah. So we want to help you through this. And when you feel your best, when you're winning, when everything outside of you appears to be going well, you have the recognition, you're getting the pat on the backs, the money's coming in your bank account, you got that job promotion, you feel amazing, you're excited, you're in spirit. You don't need to know how to discipline your thinking, because your outside world is arbitrarily and conditionally telling you that all is okay. But in the moments where things are not appearing to be okay, this is where it's so important for you to learn how to be resilient, to be persistent, to build a mindset of someone who is unstoppable, who can get through anything, who rides the waves. Chris sent me a TikTok this morning. It was beautiful. It was a gentleman teaching about surfer's mentality. and how it's so important to build a surfer's mentality. Surfers understand that the surf and the fun part is a wave that goes up. They're going to ride it as long as they can possibly ride it, and then they know it's going to crash down. Then they're going to sit and they're going to wait for that next wave to come. And when they're sitting and they're waiting for that next wave to come, they're not going, oh my God, I'm a failure. I have failed. Life is crashing down. It's falling apart. Nothing is going my way. Am I going to get through it? I don't know. Look at me. No. They're enjoying just floating in the water, waiting for the next wave, knowing that the next wave is going to come. They're going to experience that joy. They're going to ride it as long as they possibly can. And then they're going to sit and relax. So this is the law of rhythm, the waves of life. I love it. It was perfect for Chris to send that to me this morning. And this is what my experience has been. So many people see my story and they hear about all the successes, and I did this, and then that happened, and then this, and then that, and then yada, yada, yada. But it has been like this the entire time. And that to me is realism. And I just think that's being authentic. I think that's being honest. And that is truly showing that there are times when the human in us, can use a little bit of support to get us through until we feel that oneness with spirit again. If you feel like you're out of flow or you feel like you're out of connection. So this is why I'm so honored to have this opportunity to walk alongside people during their transformations. So many people ask me, like, what is it you do, Kathleen? Like, are you a coach, a teacher, like motivational speaker? Like, what are you? And I'm like, well, I don't really know. It doesn't really matter. Like, what I do is I walk alongside people during their transformation and guide them along a path that I have gone through myself. I always say about Bob, and one of the most beautiful things that he allowed for all of us that have learned from him to be able to experience was that he paved a trail that I was able to walk through now faster. And so now that's what I get to do for people, is now that trail has been blazed a little bit more by me in a different way, in a spiritual way, in a feminine way, in a social media way, in a modern way, whatever you want to say it. And it allows other people to now take that path, and it's smoother and it's not so rocky, and maybe you go faster and easier and all those beautiful things. And so if it is something you desire to be able to experience life in a way that feels better with more ease and flow, then stick around with us. Come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about the intellectual mind, and we're going to talk about moving it into the body. And then we're really, really going to get into like, okay, so now I'm ready to transform. What are my options? So that's Saturday. Okay. So come with us along this journey, stay in this energy. You're calibrating to the energetic frequency that I'm on, that Tommy's on, that Angie's on, that Alana's on, that Deborah's on. Okay. We've gone to a level of awareness now where we're really, really inspired, and we're really, really excited, and we're in joyful expectation and anticipation. And we're here to help you to get to that place too. So just know that. Tommy, are you ready to do this homework assignment?
Yes.
Okay. I'm excited. Are you showing mine?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to be quiet.
Okay. So what are we talking about here? Main character energy. So we thought, why don't we have you guys make yourself a movie poster? So here's Kathleen's that we made yesterday or the day before, whatever. So how fun is this? Like, you can already, I'm sure, see like how fun this will be to do. A couple of events ago, we had everyone put themselves on the cover of a magazine, and that was super fun and transformative. And what was so cool about that too is people were making their covers and posting them on social media, and then like friends were reaching out going like, oh my God, you're on a magazine, can I read the articles? Like they thought it was real, like it was so good. So we'll see if that happens with this too. So I made you guys a Canva template. Oh, let me just show you too. So some of our team have made covers with their photos and their titles and everything. So this will just be so fun, and we cannot wait to see all of your guys' posters. So we would love for you to post these on social media, tag Kathleen. She will reshare you to her stories and whatever, and use the hashtag #ManifestingMyMovie to so we can gather everybody's posters up and share them too. So these are just a few examples for you. Let me just show you the template really quick. I'll drop the link in the chat here first. Oh, I got a cat who just really wants to hang out with me right now. Okay. So let me switch screens here. Let's see. Okay, so this is what the Canva template looks like. You know, if you don't have a Canva account, you can get one. It's free. This is pretty easy to use. So you just can upload your own photo and drop it into the background. And then just, you know, update the title, come up with a tagline, put in like all the little credits down here. You know, feel free to add stuff, get creative. You know, there's laurels up here for awards that maybe your film is going to win, a quote at the top from like a film critic, you know, someone you want to put in there. So just really, really have fun with this. It's going to be super fun. Also, I just wanted to tell you too, if you go into the templates area of Canva and just type in movie poster, there are a ton of designs, so don't feel locked into this template that I've made for you. There's a bunch of designs here. And the other fun thing that we talked about doing too, I mean, I think it's probably best for you to put a picture of yourself, but if you're really clear on the actor or actress that you would want to play you in your movie, you could put a picture of them on the cover, you know? So whatever is just gonna make this feel, you know, real and inspiring for you. So have fun with that. Again, post them to social media, post them into the group so we can gather them up there too. And I think this will just be super cool to watch these posters come in. Stephanie, you just go to the templates section of Canva and you can type in movie poster in the search if you want to get to other options. So did I miss anything, Kathleen?
No, please tag me because I won't see them otherwise. So tag me in it. I will reshare it to my story if you tag me in your stories. But you can do it as a regular post. You can do it in our Manifest Facebook group if you want. Can you put Kathleen's up again for a minute?
Sure.
Val, it's so fun, actually. You know what's really, really cool? He put starring Drew Barrymore. She's my favorite actress, Drew Barrymore. She's down here. Yeah, and then co-executive producer Oprah Winfrey. Original soundtrack Sia. So like Sia's music honestly takes me to like next level. It's so good. And then did you put Spirit on here anywhere?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, so when we recorded the Millionaire program, Tommy gave me a slate. And was it produced by or directed by Spirit?
I can't remember. I
can't remember, but it was so good, so good. So this is an opportunity for you to get creative with this, right? Like have fun with it. But the real idea is that this is a pivotal moment in your growth, in your transformation. No matter if you're a novice in this material or you've studied this for a long time, you can absolutely decide that today, right now, is the creation of where the plot thickens or whatever, or the plot twist is, like whatever. Do I want you to create adversity in your story? No, we're not going to ask for things to be hard. We want it to go easy. So now we're going to create, what is it that's going to happen in my life now? You know, what is the quantum leap? What is the collapsement of time? What is the big success that I've been wanting that isn't there? Now we're going to start to operate on the creative plane. This is creation, what we're doing right now. Albert Einstein says that imagination is more important than knowledge. And this is what we're talking about, because it's using the imagination that literally creates. Everything in this world started on the screen of the mind. It started in someone's imagination first, everything. And so you can't manifest the success you want until you see it, until you write it out, until you decide that this is what you want. You select, ask, and you shall receive. So this is the first step, and it's so fun and it's so exciting. And I can't wait to see all of your templates. If you don't feel comfortable sharing, just share it with me privately. I won't put it on my story, but I want to see. Yeah. I really, really want to see. And it holds you a little bit accountable to this too. Don't put it off. Last time what happened with this is everybody was like, what is this magazine cover? I want one. And so we had people that weren't even in the event, that had nothing to do with it, wanted to create this. So you might find some friends that want to do it too. Sure, send them the link. We don't mind, of course. We will do some Q&A on Saturday as well. So if you've got a burning question that's been sitting there, there's something you want to ask me, you want to figure something out, come on Saturday morning. Saturday I'll be more relaxed, and we can get a little bit more intimate, but with this many people on, we can't as much. Yes, I think we should do this today. Let's do this before tomorrow for sure. Give you a little bit of a due date. You got the rest of the day today. Tommy tends to show some of them in the mornings, so you'll get yours kind of highlighted as well. But I just want to send you all gratitude for coming on today, for spending your time with us here at Diamond Academy. We're so excited. And then just congratulations for choosing you in your transformation. And if you can take one thing away today, what would that one thing be? And put that into your life. Embody it. Take it with you, right? Okay, appreciate you. Tommy always plays a song at the tail end. So he's going to play a song, and we usually stay on and we feel through the song. So stay with us, feel, be in our energy. You can be a part of our consciousness for a little bit longer here. And then once the song is done, log off and go out and take on the day in this beautiful, inspired state that you're in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Tommy, for everything.
Thanks, Kathleen. Thanks, everybody. Can't wait to see your poster.